Welcome to another episode of KickBack Bible Study. We're picking up today on Exodus chapter 11, where we left off before. The Pharaoh then told Moses, "Go from before my face. If I see you again, it's off with your head." So here we go. Exodus chapter 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold." And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, "Thus saith the Lord, about midnight I will go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon the throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all the servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. So that's the end of chapter 11. So what just happened there is the Lord was like, listen, it's one more thing. I got one more hat in the bag. Pharaoh's not going to listen, because that's just how I made him. I'm hardening his heart because I need him not to listen, because I want to do all these signs and wonders so that my power can be established and people can see it. We're going to take the mystery out of it. He's telling him that he's doing these things. So you see, he says that, he's also establishing the fact that there's a difference between the people who serve him and the Egyptians, because you see, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So all this that he's bringing upon these people, he's saying, look, it's not a coincidence. It's not happening by chance. This is happening exclusively to these Egyptians. And the Israelites, my people, they're their slaves. So they in the backyard right next door, but they're exempt from this because of the covenant they have with us. So he's explaining to him that the Pharaoh's not going to listen, but he's telling Moses, just go on and do what you got to do. Chapter 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden it with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the prutenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning shall ye burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are, and when I see the blood I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it You shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. By an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day shall ye put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from this first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done for you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for it is in the selfsame day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore ye shall observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. All in your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take your lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And one of you shall go out in the door of his house until the morning, for the Lord will pass through and smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and for thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come into the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, What mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the house of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass, and I'm going to break just right there. We're not to the end of that chapter yet, but to explain what's going on there. So God just gave the word to Moses and said, Hey, Moses, go tell the people that I want them to sacrifice these lambs, do this, eat this, don't leave nothing left over. If it's anything left over, just burn it with fire and put this on the door, because I'm about to come through and I'm finna kill everybody. And if y'all ain't did what I said to do, then that means that y'all aren't believing in the word that I was given, and y'all gonna have the same fate as the Egyptians. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. So everybody, from the king to the dogs, if you was a firstborn and you weren't doing, gone. Just like they did on the movie. Gone. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go, serve the Lord as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. So they was like, get them, gone before we all die. Like, and the Lord said that. He said they gonna put you out with haste. Remember, he talked to Moses and said that. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs, being bound upon their clothes, upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptian jewels of silver and jewels of gold and remnant. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children, so what that means when they say they spoiled the Egyptians, that means that they asked them for everything and they gave them what they want, and they leaving with a bag. Like the Egyptians was like, here, take the gold, take the silver, take the furniture for your new house, just go. Like, they was pushing them out and giving them everything. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men besides children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared themselves any victuals. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is the night of the Lord to be observed in all the children of Israel in their generations. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. So what he's saying is that this cookout is really important, and it's an invite only type of thing. Doing this ritual and the lambs is something that they're going to do after they get released out of Egypt, as a reminder of what God brought them through, as a reminder of all the signs and wonders. But those that are not committed to the faith and are not circumcised, though, if you know, because back in that day you could have a maid servant or whatever that may be hired, and they might not necessarily be in the faith. So it's saying that every man's servant that is bought for money, but when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. So if someone is folded into the faith, if someone takes that step and commits to what's necessary at that point with circumcision to as a sign of the covenant, then they would participate in this honoring of God through the feast. So a foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad of these houses, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. And thus that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. All right, chapter 13. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whosoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib, and it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hevitites, and the Jebusites, which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep his service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall be no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for thy memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in this season from year to year. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it to thee. Now that's like a real layered section. The goal is that you start to develop self-study habits. So I'm not going to stop as much and interject when I find something that's like, whoo, but I do want to make mention to certain things so that you start to train yourself of how to identify. So I have this, it's a lot of different layers here. There's prophecy here. Anytime you see "and it shall be," you see that occur twice, just in the first 11 verses of chapter 13. So you want to make mention to that, and really pay attention to the passions of the words that's in the King James version, because you want to train your ear to hear, because a lot of the message is in the passage, not in the technical words. So now that we're starting to get used to hearing words like cubit, it's like, oh yeah, that's just a unit of measurement, and all these different things that was used in that term. Now we can start to read with a deeper search for understanding. So we want to pay more attention to the passion opposed to the technical meanings of the words. So look up whatever you need as you need to look up, but we really want to start training our ear to focus on the passion of the words, because that's where the message is. Okay. And it shall be that when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and thy fathers, and shall give it to thee. So he's saying keep this feast. He's telling them exactly when it's going to be, what day of the month and all that stuff. And it's a layered prophetic passage, because it says that it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites. So he's telling them already. He's like, hey, keep this every year, and I need you to remember, because this is when I brought you up out of Egypt, and this is going to be a reference point for you to let you know when I'll be bringing you into the promised land. So it's a layered prophetic instruction there. I mean, it's instruction layered with prophecy there. Now thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh out of the beast which thou hast, the males shall be the Lord's, and every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with the lamb, and if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck, and all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what is this, that thou shalt say unto him, by strength of the hand of the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for thy frontlets between thine eyes, for by strength of the hand of the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. So that's a verse where prophecy has been fulfilled from previous chapters. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud, and led them the way by night in a pillar of fire, to give them light to go by day and night. He took away not the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of the fire by night from before the people. Okay, boom. So God was like, all right, I'm taking them up out of here. We got to go, but I ain't going to take y'all this way, because if y'all see something and get scared, y'all just going to run back to Egypt. So we got to go around this way through the wilderness, so y'all don't run into none of these people, who may scare y'all, and y'all run back into bondage. And I know it ain't no street lights out, and it get real dark in the wilderness. So during the day, I'm gonna give y'all like a sunbeam of like no overcast that y'all can follow, and at night I'm gonna give y'all this fire beam, and y'all follow it, and you boom, follow the fire. That's what's going on. Okay, chapter 14. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Phithroth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baalsphon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say, the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, in the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon his host, that all the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Okay, so God was like, camp right here. And Pharaoh was like, it ain't nothing over that way. They gonna get trapped in the wilderness. So you know what? We finna strap up and run after them, because they really tried me, thinking that they could just walk up out of here and just take all of my free labor. So Pharaoh, God and Pharaoh hardens heart, Pharaoh getting boastful. And God is like, boom, bring it. I want them to come. This is the whole plan, because they don't even much know what I'm about to do, but I'm finna make a whole example out of him. So that's what he says, that you want to pay attention when they say things like, I will be honored upon Pharaoh. How that, you know, in today's context, how we would understand it's like when you honor somebody, it's like, oh, I'm paying these respects and this, that, and the third. In the way that you would put it in context when you're reading it in the Bible, the passion behind the words, not necessarily the technical meaning. God was like, it's like saying if Mike Tyson was had a fight between like Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle was talking like big smack, like bruh, Mike Tyson would be like, I'd be honored to whoop your behind, you know, like that's what that means when it says honored. So it's not like honored in the sense that we usually use it. So you want to start training your ear to interpret these things as it's meant to be interpreted, not just from a technical term of like what the word is defined as in 2020. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people, and they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and the captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand, but the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and all his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Phithroth before Baalesbon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is this not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. So the Pharaoh and his people coming, and they got these horses, these chariots, this whole army, and the people getting scared, and they like, dang, Moses, we was doing all right before you came. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least when we was slaves, we was alive. Like, did you bring us out here just to kill us in the wilderness? Like, that's the exchange that's going on. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou, so Moses was like, listen, y'all, just chill and see what God gonna do. And so now God speaking to Moses, the Lord speaking to Moses, but lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them, and I will let me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, and upon all his chariots, and upon all his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. So God was like, go on and walk into the middle of this ocean, but it's going to be dry. I'll explain it to you when we get there. But they're going to follow you into this dry ocean, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to get my honor. So that's that exchange. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten my honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud, and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near the other all the night. So God went and put a barrier up between them, a thick cloud barrier, so that the Egyptians couldn't get to the Israelites while they were getting out. Well, Israel, that he identifies them as Israel. I want to be mindful of that. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and make the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went, not Israelites, children of Israel. I don't want to make any type of connection or connotation between what we may understand as Israelites today, because I want this to be a delivery of the word and not of theology that may be pushed by different sects that come out of religion. So, and the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were all a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked upon the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of the fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. So they like, hey man, what's going on? Their chariot wheels just started falling off for no reason. So when he said they were troubled, God scared them. They was like, how is this happening? Like wheels just popping off out of nowhere. So they ready to call it quits and say, let's turn around, because this is definitely the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come up upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared. And the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. So they was like, oh, we gotta go. They done changed their mind. They trying to flee because now the water's coming in, but they got all of these half-broke chariots. God got them all. It said not a one made it out. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of Egypt, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw the great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. So they seen this go. They were just as in awe as the Egyptians were. They was like, if we ever doubted or anything that he said, we just seen this whole ocean become a wall. And the people was like, we in line. Chapter 15. Chapter 15. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he hath thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war, and the Lord is his name. The Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together, and the flood stood upright as a heap, and in the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. And the enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil, my lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto to thee, O Lord, among the gods. Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praise, doing wonders? Thou stretchest out thy right hand, and the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto the holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. The dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. They shall be as still as stone till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thou have established. And the Lord shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. So that's a song. So God done showed out so good. Moses wrote a whole song. So they just juking. They like, boom, God, you blew out your nose, because it was a gnat flying by and the whole ocean split up. It's a way of the passion in the words. It's, you see how it says he blew out blew with thy nostrils, and the sea parted, and it talks about the strength of his hand. Where is it at? Overthrown them at once. With the blast of thy nostrils, thy waters were gathered together, and the flood stood upright. That's just saying, that's it. Boom. So it's giving reverence to the power of God and magnificence of how the things that we find so great are so small to them. So that passion in that is really showing the reverence that Moses has, and the respect and the fear. Because fear is not a bad thing. You should fear the Lord because it'll keep you in line. So it's talking about the fear that the other people will have, and that fear that's going to give them protection, because Moses is in the favor of the Lord, and he lives and loves the Lord. So he knows that the Lord is not going to bring that recompense upon him. But for anybody that tries to harm him, these people preceding his presence, before they even pass by these places, they're going to hear of these things. They're going to be like, oh, these people is wandering, but these are people that the Egyptians tried to kill, and they whole got drowned on dry land. So that's what he's saying. He's saying that the wonders he's done is going to reign the reputation throughout the earth and protect them as they travel. And Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tremble in her hand, and all the women went out after her with trembles and with dance. Now Miriam, that's the sister, but notice here it says that she's a prophetess. So you want to make note of that, not to downplay the role, like as we see it presented in Prince of Egypt. It was kind of like, oh, she was there, but you can see here in the Bible it says that she was a prophetess. And I think a timbrel, I believe that's like a tambourine, but that's a technical thing that you can look up yourself. I think it's something like a tambourine. And Miriam answered them, saying, Miriam answered them, sing ye the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he hath thrown into the sea. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came into Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. And they came to Elam, where there were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters. So they then left and danced and got all happy, and then they was walking for 3 days and they have no water. So now everybody is, when they say that they murmured, they like, everybody was like gossiping and bickering and like, well, what's going on, because we thirsty. And so there was some water, and I don't know if like a tree fell down out of the sky into the water, or Moses just grabbed some branches and threw it in the water, and then all of a sudden this water that was not consumable, so it was either, you know, poisonous or dirty or whatever, it was clean. They had something to drink, and God was like, see, I could make, you know, poisonous dirty water clean. So y'all roll with me, listen to me, listen diligently, hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and do that which is right in his sight, and give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, and I'll put none of these diseases upon thee. So that's a promise of God saying, hey, all that stuff that the Egyptians was dealing with and all that, do what I tell you to do, and you ain't got to worry about none of it. Chapter 16. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, and the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and we did eat bread to the fill. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. So what they're saying when they say they was murmuring, so they was like, we was better off being slaves. Like, at least when we was slaves in Egypt, we had pig feet and rice. You know, but you bringing us out here into the wilderness and we hungry. You should have just left us where we was at. And they said unto the Lord, that's what the flesh, they mean by the flesh pot, like whatever substance the Egyptians provided, even if they were enslaved, they at least had their fill of food. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So when he says that I may prove them whether they're walking that law or no, it's he's testing them. He's saying, okay, they're talking about being hungry. I'm gonna rain down bread every day, and I'm gonna see if anybody can listen to this. If you complain about bread, I'm gonna give you bread, and I'm gonna see if you can take this bread the way I tell you to take it. So that's what that says when it says prove them whether they're walking my law. And it shall come to pass that in the 6th day that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at even, that's the instruction he gave. So now Moses is giving this instruction to the people. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, at even then ye shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt, and in the morning then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord, that what are we that ye murmur against us? So they was like, the Lord hear y'all whispering, and y'all talking about us like we got anything to do with it. If y'all talking about us, y'all insulting God, because we ain't doing nothing but he told us to do. So, and Moses said, then shall be, when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord heareth your murmurings which ye murmur against him. And what are ye? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at even ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that in the evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone upon them, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man from them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered, some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. So this is God proving them, because he said, hey, I'm gonna test y'all, I'm gonna give y'all some bread because that's y'all asked for. But he's in the process of proving them. So it rained or whatever, not necessarily rain, but just like it's dew in the morning, you know, when you go out. Well, when this dew dried up, all of a sudden it was like bread just everywhere, and they was like, where this bread came from? So Moses was like, listen, and quails is a bird. So all of a sudden, all of these birds just come out of nowhere for them to eat. So it could have been like chicken. You know, people eat quail nowadays. It sound good. So he told the people, he said, okay, all of this bread that's just laying around, get an omer. That's a unit of measurement. Get an omer of bread. Some people was like, psh, all this bread, I'm finna get me 2 omers. And some people was like, ooh, my knees bad, I got me a half a omer, but I couldn't even bend down to get the rest. So he said those that had more, you know, it talks about some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he gathered much. He that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. So these people, even if you gathered a lot, when they gathered it, God wouldn't, like, he was like, that's the extra one in the bag, disappear. Everybody ended up having the omer. And Moses said, I let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left it unto the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. So he said, don't even leave this. This ain't even gonna be good till in the morning. Some people was like, psh, I'm gonna keep my bread that I don't eat. And they woke up and it was full of worms and it was stank. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that in the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holiest Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seeth that ye will seeth, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. So he's saying, I know I've been telling y'all every day, don't leave nothing over, but today I'm telling you, leave it over because I'm off tomorrow. Get you some today. And they laid it up until the morning as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein. And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to go gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? So basically the Lord was like, I done told y'all I was going to do this, and I was going to tell y'all, just listen to me. Y'all wanted bread, I gave you bread, and all I said was, when I give you bread on the 6th day, get twice as much bread as I gave you on the 5th day, because I ain't giving you bread on the 7th day. And these people was just trying to get bread however they wanted to get bread. They couldn't even follow the rules. And so God is just like, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and laws? Like, dang, how long you going to be hard-headed? See for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread for 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and with the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commandeth. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord, and keep it for your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years, until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is a 10th part of an ephah. Okay, that's the end of chapter 16. So at the end of chapter 16, he told him, the manna that I gave y'all to rain down and eat through all these 40 years, put it in a pot so it could be a testimony to this, so y'all can remember this for the generations. That's what they say, for a testimony to the generations. Okay, chapter 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys according to the commandments of the Lord. And they pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do you tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses and said, Wherefore is that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take it in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, and the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. So he was like, these people trying to stone me because they thirsty. God, what I'm gonna do? And he was like, get the old heads, because they the ones that the people gonna listen to. Get that stick that I used to part the sea with, go on and get that, and go hit this rock, and out of this rock will come water, and it's just gonna flow like a faucet. But it's a rock, but I'm gonna make it run like a faucet. So it said Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel, and he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? So these people was like, you keep talking about how great your God is, and we thirsty, so where he at? So that's what they say when he says, because they tempted the Lord, because they questioned whether or not the Lord was capable of providing. And so y'all want water, and y'all think I can't give you water. I'm gonna give you more than water. I'm gonna give you water out of a rock, and it's gonna flow like a faucet, and you gonna be wondering where it's coming from. But that ain't your business. Stop chiding. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow, and I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up, Hur, went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone, and they put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the one on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi, for he said, Because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, that's the end of chapter 17. So he smote the rock with the stone with his rod, and water came out, and now the people is like, okay, we listening. So he gets Joshua, and this is the first mention of him. He gets Joshua, he tells Joshua, he says, go out and fight these people. And he was like, all right. So he's standing on a hill watching the whole thing go down. And whenever Moses raised his hand, I guess he was like holding his hand out over it, then Joshua and the children of Israel would win. But when he put it down, they would lose. So they was like, all right, we figured out how this works. So they came and they got some rocks stacked up, and they was like, Moses, sit down, and we gonna hold this side of your hand, you gonna hold this other side of your hand, and we gonna get through it. So they helped hold Moses' hand up throughout the whole fight, and Amalek was destroyed. Chapter 18. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her 2 sons, of which the name one was Gershom, for he had said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eliezer, for the God of my father, he said, has mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came in with his sons and his wife unto Moses, unto the wilderness, where he encamped in the Mount at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife, and her 2 sons with her. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obedience, and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. So Jethro was like, I know your God is the God, because the Egyptians was real cocky, and they just knew that they could fight and win everybody, and God humbled them. So he's rejoicing as Moses is telling him all the things about the sea parting and the manna from heaven and the water coming out the rock. He's filling them in, and Jethro is just excited and just loving this whole thing. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offerings and a sacrifices for God, and Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. So he's so excited. He's like, I gotta give worship to this God. So they had a sacrifice, a feast, a cookout in his name. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he had did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from the morning until the evening? And Moses said unto his father, so he like, what's going on with this long line that everybody got to stand in all day? What you doing? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of God, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and the other, and I do make them known the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not be able to perform in thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to God word, that thou may bring the cause unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, that shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them, and be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people all the seasons. And it shall be that every great matter that they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So it shall be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Jethro was like, you standing up here all day just for them to ask you if they're doing right or wrong? Like, no, bro, it's gotta be a better way to do this. So he's telling him, he's like, if you keep trying to do this, and you're the only person that they come to ask about every little thing that goes on, you're gonna be wore out. You're gonna wear away, and then these people are gonna wear away, because they're not gonna have anybody to keep direction. So he tells him basically to establish a hierarchy. He says, find the people amongst you that are God-fearing people. They hate covetousness. They're not jealous people. That's what it means when it says hating covetousness. They don't look at other people and be jealous. They have a different kind of eye. And place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, rulers of tens. So get you a president. You could be the president, but get you a bunch of governors, some mayors, and some city councilmen. Like, divide this up, or you're gonna wear out. And he said, I ain't telling you to do this because I'm telling you to do this. I'm telling you to do this because I think this will help. So you pray about it. You take it to God. And that's what he said, if God be with thee. So he said, if this cool with God, then I think this is a better way you can do this. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all of Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people all the seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. Okay, chapter 19. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim, and they were come into the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called upon unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So God said, hey, go tell these people, if they listen, y'all gonna be my favorites. So, and Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all these people answered together and said, All that the Lord hath spoken we will do. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I came unto the thick cloud, and the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I came unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the 3rd day. For the 3rd day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not be an hand to touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. So God is like, all right, I'm finna do something. I got to talk to you, but I got to talk to you private, and I want everybody to know that it's me having a direct conversation with you, because I want them to believe what I tell you to tell them. I don't want to be no question. So he's saying it's going to be like a border, an amount, and these people can't come up. They can't even touch the outside of it. If you touch it, you die. Even if you're a frog, you better not put your little frog legs on this border, because the frog gonna die too. Everybody can get it. So, and Moses went down. Right, they shall surely be put to death. There shall not be a hand to touch it, and it surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the 3rd day. Come not at your wives. And it came, so get clean and abstain for a couple of days, because something happened in 3 days, and I need you to be wholly sanctified and completely focused on the Lord. Don't even be worried about your ronies right now. And it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud came upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount, and Mount Sinai was altogether in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and then the Lord called upon Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto the Lord to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also which come near to the Lord sanctify themselves, lest the Lord break forth upon them. And Moses said unto the Lord, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for thou chargest us, saying, Set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. And the Lord said unto him, Away, get thee down, thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee, but let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto the Lord, lest he break forth upon them. So Moses went down upon the people and spake unto them. So that's the end of chapter 19. So Moses on the mount, God then came down. It's the smoke around the mountain, and all these people like, oh, you know, we want to see. And so God like, look, I was finna talk to you, but I told them people not to come, and they finna come, and I don't want them to die, because I told them if they don't listen, they're gonna die. So go down there, go get Aaron, tell these people to chill out. I'll be back up here. Tell the priest I don't even want them up here, because I'm gonna unleash my wrath on them. And Moses like, but they ain't coming because you said not to. And God is just like, go do what I tell you to do, because they ain't listening. So I think that's a really good insight to the character of Moses. And it's funny when you see the exchange, especially the exchange that happens between a individual in the Bible, a figure, and that they have direct communications with God, because it gives you insight to the nature of that person. God is telling Moses to go down because all these people are finna die because they trying to be nosy. And Moses is like, no, of course not. They know they're gonna die if they be. But that's because Moses has that obedient spirit. So it's almost like he couldn't even fathom that these people would even try to come close, because God has said you're going to die if you're going to come close. But that gives you insight to this is the type of people that God used. You know, people who are so committed to him that it's just like a crazy thought to even believe that people would do otherwise. So I really love those exchanges, and I want to take that moment to highlight that so you kind of understand how this goes. The Bible is just a conversation and events and stories, so don't look at it as like this mystical, magical book that, you know, has all these outlandish ideas. Like, no, it's a history book, and it's conversations that take place. So we're going to stop there, because chapter 20 is going to be a great place to pick up. And we're going to get into the commandments, because of course he's on Mount Sinai. So thank y'all so much for spending some more time with me. That is another session of Kickback Bible Study. We will pick up next time on Exodus chapter 20.